you're back on Twitch.
Alright, so what did we lose?
Can't say anything about YouTube yet. Might get confused because the stream name's still the same. Let's see if we created 2 instances. But you're live on YouTube, so do your thing.
Okie dokie. So, sorry about that, everybody. We had a little stream crash there.
Well, we were musing about this being an early access game just a few streams back.
Yeah,
so this was to be expected, so it happens. You can't really blame the game for that. Yet, still in early access.
Bring that down there.
Though Charles Price is expressing some salt and wants you to get a new PC anyway.
Right, while they finish building that, let's go over here. Yes, so we were just looking at creating a path to this. Oh yeah, and I spotted those bleach stones here, which are going to be making chlorine that we don't really want. So, to take care of that... Now, where is it? Is it in medicine? Yes, it is.
Well, to catch up on stream chat again, if you don't mind. Charles Price is currently trying the airline meal the company provided them with. Radia just managed to watch the last minute of your last stream and caught up. He's currently on a bit of a laggy connection, unfortunately. And Vladdy would like to know how old your PC is.
I bought it almost 3 years ago now.
Didn't you upgrade it about 1.5 years ago?
Oh yeah, it's been upgraded. Various bits of it have been upgraded various times. Right, let's see.
And Charles Price would like some advice. Should he try some pasta or some stew? Mind you, both are still airline meals. I'd go with the pasta.
Yeah, I find the pasta's always a safe bet when it comes to airline meals.
You don't know what's in the stew. And Potato reminds you that you shouldn't try to overburden yourself with the oxygen not included streams. He doesn't want something like RimWorld to happen again. Yeah, well, the difference is Sal streams oxygen not included on a whim, and usually reconsiders that whim every time she stops, each hour. With RimWorld, she had to force herself to a daily release schedule, which eventually got to her.
Yeah, with RimWorld, I was rushing against updates and things.
She was basically recording a week's batch every weekend. And Jim Horn nearly forgot about RimWorld. He never got in the colony. How sad. Charles Price would like to know if 3 years ago, was that AD or BC? I don't think we had any BC 3 years ago, but I might be wrong, of course.
Alright, well, build
Charles
up
Price
to
points out that there's beef in the stew. Still,
I mean, it might be alright, but it depends on what the pasta is as well.
Fair point. Just go with your gut in this one. Usually depends on what you want at the moment. Jim Hon would like to know if you're ever planning on going back to RimWorld.
Oh yeah, definitely at some point.
Well, there was hope. Today, for example, she was considering going back to Urban Empire until I pointed out that Babom decided not to be here. And Potato makes things weird by pointing out that it could be Jazarago stew.
I can only see 2 of the puffs. Oh no, there's 3. Okay. I do worry about our puffs.
One of those are different ones.
No, we know how many we had. They don't breed, unfortunately, so what we see is what we have. And yeah, still don't have enough bleach stone to make a hand sanitizer.
Giles Price is unhappy with the availability of instant coffee. And he wants us to screw with the bomb and stream Urban Empire anyway. Well, it's too late for that now. I'm not prepared to sit here for a 4-hour session. Also, Jim Hon has summoned Jizargo to range his on Jim Hon's home.
Oh, new friends. Let's have a look. Who've we got? This one looks okay. Oh, actually, this one's even better. 11 strength means that this one's going to be great at carrying stuff.
Yeah, but who's he going to be?
Who's he going to be? Who shall we have? We haven't had Terry Love in yet. We could get Terry in.
Oh, well, if I remember correctly,
We've not
he
got
and
Giles
Jim
Price,
Hon wanted to abstain from this one because they liked their lives. But Terry Love sounds like a good idea. We can't make clones.
Or Giles. This is a male character, I think.
No, she's female.
No, that's male.
No, that's female.
That's male.
Trust me. Who studied duplicant anatomy here? Definitely not you.
The males also have eyelashes.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
I think we are going to call this... I think we're going to go for Terry.
Are you sure you don't want to call him an idle bat?
Oh, do you know, I don't think we can use the @signs.
Fine. Just stick with Terry then, I guess.
I think we'll go for Terry Love. Right, Terry, you're in. How are we doing for beds and things?
And Giles Price points out that Ada looked like a burnt toast head.
How are we doing?
We're not going to name a character Salt. It would be insulting to me. I thought you didn't want to cross that hydrogen gas.
Oh, the hydrogen's okay. It's the chlorine that I'm worried about. The hydrogen will always rise. In fact, we can just make a little bit of a pocket.
Terry is upset.
Why is that?
He thought he was retired. He has to do work now, doesn't he? Vladi likes to listen to creepypasta on YouTube sometimes. He found a person who sounds like Boris.
Oh.
What if it is Boris?
It might be, you never know.
He sounds like a creepy person. Boris would probably read those. Potato would like to know what your thoughts on the side hat shave for haircuts are.
Each to their own.
Okay.
Wouldn't suit me.
Okay. Radiator seems to be upset and misspelt insulting.
Insulting.
Giles Price would like you to imagine me with a mohawk. I'd rather not. Makes it difficult to wear hats.
Yeah, true.
And
Right.
Terry Love points out you can tell if it's Boris if he's using 5-year-olds for spare parts. Again, why does Boris get all the credit for this one? I'm providing them with the, 5-year-olds.
I don't know what it is that you're worried about losing credit over, Mia, but I'm not sure that it should be something that you're losing sleep over.
Charles Price is suggesting a flat cap and a pipe with a mohawk. Well, it's not. That wouldn't look nice.
If you want to know about pipes, Terry's your man.
Oh, fair point. Crazy Potato wants to know what that orange gas is.
The orange gas inside here is natural gas. And we can use that to power everything in the base.
And you're right, Terry can provide the pipes.
We've got another puffed up here. I wonder if he'll come down. The hydrogen hopefully should make its way up this ladder.
While I aesthetically like the idea of having a pipe, I don't enjoy the idea of smoking itself. And Vlani would like to have permission to post a link to Boris's creepypasta.
Can we give permission? I don't know whether that's one of those.
Well, he is on Twitch, so he has permission. Feel free to go ahead. And Bill also starts the hashtag #FreeThePuffed again.
That's exactly what we're trying to do.
You're putting a ladder in its way. You know those are deadly to them.
I know. That's why I left. See this little gap here? That's why I left this little gap, was that the puffs wouldn't commit suicide on the ladder there.
Dr. Creepin.
Okay, things look okay up here.
Well, a bit unfortunate for somebody who reads creepypastas. Their channel trailer doesn't have one bit of their voice in there. I just wanted to have a quick, look at the Boris impersonator you found, but I guess I'll have to delay that until later. How rude.
Now, natural gas is another thing that tends to sink to the bottom right corner. It's not in this case because it's got water, but that's where we will be putting the liquid pump.
Dear Love points out that you don't have to smoke the pipe. His grandfather, for example, always had a pipe in his mouth, but it was seldom lit. Mostly it stopped him answering back to his grandmother, to Terry's grandmother, not his grandfather's grandmother.
Let's see, we want an Atmos switch because we only want this turning on when there's enough gas for it to work. Oh, and then electricity.
Potato just finished the paper drawing. Well, go ahead and post it. We need to see. And Terry rightfully points out that you just look cool and intelligent with a pipe. Fair point. Giles Price instead suggests a flat cap pipe and the toothbrush moustache. What's a toothbrush moustache?
Like Hitler had.
Oh, that's called a toothbrush?
Looks like a toothbrush.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, fair point. And Radiator is starting the hashtag make gaps in ladders so puffs don't commit suicide.
Oh,
2017, I guess.
How about that? We'll dig a little hole at the bottom so that if that puff gets out, he won't hit the rock at the bottom of the ladder.
Thank you. Sal, saviour of puffs.
I shall save all puffs everywhere, wherever I possibly can.
Now, when I said post it, I wanted him to post a link to a scanned copy of it in chat so I can have a look at it and then judge him. And Vladdy points out that there's a lot of good creepypasta narrators on YouTube. Well, generally speaking, there are a few talents on YouTube. Although I have to admit that reading creepypastas is not exactly what I'm looking for in a creator. I like people who analyze things and rant about them. Ross Scott, for example. Oh, wonderful man. I tried to offer him most of the Nidd's resources once. He declined.
Oh, hang on. I might need them to... Oh, no, we'll be fine.
Giles Price would like to have some clarification on the spelling of puffed.
Puffed. With a T.
There you go. So it's puffed. As Radiator already helpfully pointed out earlier on. Thank you.
Okay, now we want to do this, releasing as little of the gas as possible.
So here a simple wall will be enough? You don't need to isolate it more?
Yeah, this one's not bad at all. Because it's just gas, it doesn't build up the same pressure as you get with... Oh, no, they're going to sleep. With water.
You seem so distraught over them going to sleep.
Well, the natural gas is escaping.
Fair point. Terry Love points out that the YouTuber Metatron, there you go, does a good rant now and then. Well, it depends on what they're ranting about. I don't just like to listen to any old rant. I don't like political rants mostly, they're weird. Vladdy, on the other hand, likes watching documentaries and movies on YouTube as well. Giles Price wants to know how sweet a puffed would be.
A bit fishy, I imagine.
Fair point.
And he's got
light.
three eyes. Three eyes like... Was it Blinky or Binky?
I wouldn't know.
In The Simpsons.
I wouldn't know.
Right, build that. And meanwhile, you can dig that. Some of that.
If Google wouldn't make Bell also give out his phone number for new duplicate accounts, he would use Sal, Savior of Puffs, as his next one. Also, Radiator suggests you should use an airlock to keep that natural gas in.
It's not that I want to keep it in here, it's that I don't want much of it escaping because we want to burn this stuff. It will eventually all float downwards, and we're going to build a place that will catch that gas down here somewhere, probably. And we'll actually create more natural gas sort of free floating in the environment.
Oh, look at that. It's a sound.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Now imagine that running at you in a dark alleyway. Potato, work your Photoshop magic. Also, Radiator starts a new hashtag again. A hashtag, don't let us sleep. No, that'll just make everything worse and people will probably puke everywhere. I wouldn't want that. Metatron is a linguist, historian, and rants about combat and arms and armor in movies. Well, it does sound interesting. I shall make a mental note to eventually look at him, but probably will forget it because nobody sent me a link. And natural gas reminds Giles Price of mere opening the window.
Open the window to let the farts out.
I'll have you know that's not mine. Vladdy also congratulates Potato on the nice artwork. It does look nice, but again, dark alleyway. Oh yeah, I think I haven't told you about that yet. Potato, just made a little scribble because he can't use his computer for digital drawings while it's rendering. He's currently creating a little Sal animation.
Ah.
A salmonation, if I remember correctly, which was a horrible pun. Yep, salmonation. And to paraphrase his message there, he was dying how funny it is while working on it. And Terry Love tried to send a link, but the system blocked it. Sorry about that.
Is it YouTube where it blocks it?
It's YouTube.
Or?
For some odd reason, YouTube doesn't allow any links at all unless you're a moderator, and I can't just turn the entire chat to moderators just for links. Though it does work fine on Twitch. I don't understand why that's not a setting on YouTube where you can just allow every normal user on YouTube to post links. I mean, I get that it's for spam protection, but eventually you just gotta... You have to reach the point first where people are spamming you before you have to take care of that. And I don't understand why they don't give the option to smaller channels to still allow links. But what do I know? I'll Google Metatron myself, and then I'll have a link myself. But still, thank you for trying. Oh, never mind. He did it for me. On Twitch. Thank you. He's the type of guy who could use a good hat.
Now, meanwhile, I'm going to sort out these switches. So this is the pressure switch. No, this is the temperature. And we only want this to be active if the temperature is below about 50, well actually about 45 maybe, 43 will do. And we only want that to be active if the pressure is above.
Here's another hashtag.
Yep.
Hashtag no sleep till cave-in. I don't think there are cave-ins in this game. Reminds me of Terra Firmacraft though. And Charles Price points out that YouTube hates me and they're out to get me. I don't think they just hate me individually and want to get me specifically. That's just a general thing. YouTube doesn't want to be user-friendly. Potato points out that the salmonation was done earlier, but Blender thought it would be a good idea to, desync the audio and the images, messing the entire thing up by moving it from 29 frames per second to 24.
New
so
friends!
He has to re-render the entire thing. Who's it gonna be?
Let's have a look. This bit would be okay. So would Ada.
They're all women.
Either of these two.
I'd go with a Nisbet.
Another cook in the team wouldn't harm.
So who's it gonna be? Charles or Jim?
Jim didn't want to be in the game, did he?
I know.
Didn't Jim say he'd be in the game if he could be a cook?
Well, he's not around to disagree, so yes, that's what he said.
Unless
so
Giles wants to be the cook.
He should be the cook now, forcing him to die quickly, Sal, before he has a chance to rebuttal. Turn him into Jim.
Well, I don't want to bring Jim into the game if he doesn't want to be in the game.
Oh, he can't be that opposed to it. I mean, he would be here otherwise to tell us, wouldn't he? But Bill Alsa's the cook.
Yeah, we've got 2 cooks, but we're going to need more. As the colony grows, we'll need more cooks.
Take it like that. It means more time off for you. Radiator wants you to name them hashtag Free the Puffed. I don't think you can put a hashtag in the name. That might crash the game.
Unfortunately not.
At least I remember that being a problem earlier on.
Yeah. And I haven't read anything about them fixing it. I think that's why the mods at the moment that are out there, Just focus on language.
Give in, Sal. It is a Jim.
Are we going to bring Jim
He's
in?
dead, Jim.
There we go.
Anyway, Terry Love points out that Belorsa's a poor guy, having to prepare mush bars the entire day. And Charles Price wants to know if Bernie is saying that YouTube has manifested itself into an AI machine. What? Which Bernie are we talking about?
Benny Bear? Belorso.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I thought we were talking about a political figure for a moment there. I don't think they... Did Belorsa say something like that? If so, I must have missed it. Anyway, Radiator was also suggesting a real Gordon Ramsay. Ah. Tammy Patton was requesting Mimic Puffed. Charles Price wanted it to be a Rap C. Nisbet. And Jim Hon issued Rarstone number 15 for Mir. Don't have to be there to kill you, Mir. Well, you weren't there to disagree. So I win. Oh, jeez. Ms. Rarstone number 16 displeased the ambassador of death at your own risk. I'll reset that. If you abuse the system. Ah! I missed it. YouTube doesn't need to conform to anyone's wishes or even have to explain itself, said Belorso. Which was in reference to... Which was earlier on referenced in the comment about YouTube turning into an AI machine.
Actually, oh no, that's fine.
Vladdy points out that Gordon Ramsay is either from hell or is hell itself. And Charles Price wants to know, what about the Stay Puffed guy? I don't know, who's that? Remember how you were saying you couldn't get a word in because I was babbling constantly?
I didn't say anything like that.
Oh, you did. And now we're getting ridiculous. Radiator issued Rarstone number 17 for me. Happy 100th gram of salt. If I'd die from 100 grams of salt, I'd be very upset with myself. Thought I could stomach more. Oh, the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Fair point. I didn't know he was called Stay Puffed. Plus, I haven't seen Ghostbusters in ages.
Okay. So what's going on here is this water here is actually forming a seal so that the gas can't get through. Which means that we keep more of the gas in here for burning.
Nice.
But I was going to say that water seal won't stay for long because the water is draining away.
Yeah.
But it's helped a little.
Bell also points out that hell isn't so bad. There are people who, if they owned taxes in hell, would rent out taxes and live in hell.
Oh,
Which
where
is
did
a
we see that? That was
to Bounty Train.
Bounty Train.
Giles Price doesn't like the new Ghostbusters movie. Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't really agree or disagree with you there. I just saw the trailer and thought, no, not really. Doesn't sound like my type of movie. Again, neither did the original Ghostbusters.
Did I put in all of the plumbing? Yes, I did. And I put in all of the power? Yes, I did. Okay, that's good. So we just need to seal this up now. Come on, somebody, seal it up.
Potato found the new Ghostbusters movie to be okay. It has its moments, but you know, it's a 7 out of 10 for him. Oh no, also say hello to Johnny Layton.
Hello, Johnny Layton. Come on, one more tile.
I'm really slow with their tiles today.
They are. And this one last tile will seal that, and then we can actually build the power generation chamber. There we go. Right, at least it's not leaking gas anymore.
Anyway, the radiator has to leave now, and he leaves with a bit of salt. See you, and thank you for the 111 gram of salt.
Oh look, there's another natural gas geyser there.
How lovely.
Might utilise this being a cold area to do our power generation down here.
Terry Love paraphrases a typical manager who says, "Did I put in all of the plumbing?" when the minions did all the actual work. I assume it was a put.
I think that was a reference to me. Did I put this in here? Oh yes, I did. Thank you, minions.
I see now. Vladdy loves Gordon Ramsay's Hell Kitchen something show, but it's a bit on the pissed off annoying side to be interesting for him. And Child Surprise loved the real Ghostbusters kids show. Can't say that I've seen that one too.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay's just too ranty for me. I'm not into ranty people.
I know, I tried to introduce her to Ross Scott and she didn't like him.
No.
I should have tried it with Freeman's Mind. People love Ross Scott for Freeman's Mind and then stick around for Game Dungeon. And Beans.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, it looks
Might
nice and
mop
cool
that
down there.
too, actually. We'll keep on getting melted water, so it will keep on freezing down here. Right, but we need to think about how we're going to do this. We'll have to do it out of gold, because it's going to get quite hot.
Giles Price points out that Gordon Ramsay is surprisingly friendly and forthcoming with kids, but he's basically Hitler with adults. Probably rightfully so. Kids are still in the process of learning and deserve a bit of, leeway. Adults, on the other hand, who professionally try to be cooks, should know better than that. Admirable of his. Then again, he does swear a bit. But also would like to know if anyone here has watched any of the Man in Black movies.
I might have watched a Men in Black while I was on a plane somewhere, I think.
I never took time out of my day to dedicate itself to Men in Black. Just occasionally saw snippets of it because it randomly came on TV.
Right, gonna have power switches.
It's not a movie franchise I particularly follow. And again, there are almost no movie franchises I follow in any form. I mean, I don't like Star Wars, especially the new ones are awful. So I wasn't planning on going along with those.
Now, this is going to form a pool of water that we're going to need to get out somewhere. We'll have a look and see what's under here once they dig down a bit. Let's give them more digging to do.
Taka has seen all 3 Men in Black movies and even some of the cartoons. I didn't know there were cartoons. Now Giles Price wants to know, what about the Aliens franchise?
I definitely saw the first one. Other than that, I'm not sure.
Again, didn't take time out of my day to watch it. I know of snippets, but never watched the entire full movie. Generally speaking, I don't think I'm a movie watcher, I think. I said I think too many times. Crazy Potato has some instructions for you. How to swear like Gordon Ramsay. Step 1, curse word. Step 2, name of an animal. I feel like it's missing an adjective. But I also loved the first Men in Black movie, but after that it got progressively worse. That's usually how movies go.
It wasn't like that with Terminator. Terminator 2, I think, was better than Terminator 1.
It definitely was like that with Ice Age. The first one was funny and charming, I admit, so much even that my grandparents, out of all people, got themselves a giant plushie of that ridiculous squirrel because they found it so bloody hilarious. But after that it just got worse, and they too eventually just stopped liking it, which was amazing. Didn't think they would eventually come around on that, because they were almost swearing on that movie, which was scary.
How are we doing down here?
Vladdy prefers more history movies than fantasy or whatever it's called. Yeah, a good historical movie can be quite entertaining. Hitler: Rise of Evil with Robert Carlyle playing Hitler was really impressive and quite informative. I loved watching that one. If you haven't seen it, I strongly urge you to take a look at it yourself. And here's a question from Giles Price for chat and us. What's the scariest movie you've ever watched? Well, it isn't the objectively scariest movie, but my H kinda heavily influenced that short moment of Ghost Ship I saw, in which an entire deck full of people was suddenly decapitated by a rope or something going off across the deck and just cutting through them weirdly. Shocked me for, quite a long time. That was scary. Now it's Sal's turn to talk about her scariest movie.
I'm wiring things, sorry.
Of course.
I think what we'll do, we'll try and get 3 of these on a floor.
Potato would like you to imagine Sal playing Alien Isolation. Like the first Alien movie where you play the person and just waddle around and get chased by an alien. It's a nice game, but unfortunately I'm so terribly scared of that thing that I never managed to get far into it. I'm not good with scary games. Johnny Layton is confused because you seem to be offline on Steam, even though it's evident that you're playing Oxygen Not Included right now. That's simple. Sal is by default offline while streaming to prevent annoying Steam messages and the notification sound to come through on stream. That's quite distracting and can take away from the experience, I believe, which is why I've taken that precaution. And Sal hasn't heard any of this just now, I think.
Yeah, no, I did.
Sure she did.
But Mia answered it quite sufficiently well, so, Okay.
Terry Love hasn't been to the cinema for years. When the lights go out, his eyes close and he falls asleep. I give you that. Usually cinema chairs are awfully comfortable. Oh, I love those. What I have watched in cinemas was The Hunger Games, of all things. I don't know why, but I really enjoy those. All of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
But also
15,
points out
16,
that Scrat
18.
is awesome. What is Scrat? Oh, right. That squirrel thing. Oh, I'm quite behind on chat, it seems. Crazy Peter does love himself a good samurai movie. I wouldn't know any of them. Giles Price wants to know, what about the Hitler movie based on the book where it tells the story of Hitler if he arrived in the future? Er ist wieder da is the German title of that book, which I quite enjoyed. However, after I've heard from a friend that they completely changed the ending of the book to seem more politically correct, I wasn't happy with the film adaptation and decided not to watch it. It was a bit of a darkly humoured book, but it did well, and that's why I liked it about the book. It was fairly blunt with its story.
Oh, yeah. Of course, we crashed before I got those insulated tiles in. And I can remove this mesh tile now. Because I wanted to stop stuff from dropping down too far. But we've got this above, so we won't have that problem.
Bloody wants to know what people think of the movie Downfall. I'm afraid I can't say I've seen it, or if I did, I would only know it by the German title. And the scariest movie Potatoes ever seen was I Am Legend. He couldn't sleep for a week. Yeah, I immediately stopped after the first jump scare on the helicopter. I much prefer the parody version, I Am Leg. The scariest movie Jim Haun's ever seen was one that he made himself. On another note, Tammy Patton saw Wonder Woman last week. Good, I guess. I heard people liked it a lot, but I'm not into watching those weird superhero movies at the moment. Need a bit over the top for me. Especially with their weird connected universe now, which is the new rage. Don't need that. I don't want to watch a series that for some odd reason takes an entire year to produce another episode. Did Sal drag me to the Printworks to watch it? I'm afraid I'm a bit behind on chat, so I don't exactly remember what that was.
We've been to see a couple of films.
We watched the new Star Wars movie, which I wasn't convinced of and decided I can spare myself seeing the other ones.
It wasn't at the Printworks, though. It was at the Great Northern Warehouse.
Oh, that's what he meant by Printworks.
Yes.
Okay. Potato points out that we should both watch the Seven Samurai. It's the 1954. The 1954, it's an amazing movie, but the Western knockoff is total trash. I'm afraid samurais are not really my cup of tea either. So I might pass on that.
Right, heavy wire. We're gonna bring that out here, and I think...
Oh, Giles Price wants to know if I've seen the Hunger Games with you. No, I haven't. I watched those when I was still in Germany. And the random movie Bill also likes to promote is The Monuments Man. Look it up and go buy it. I shall have a look at its IMDb page to see if it's something I'd enjoy. Terry Love really liked the original Muppet movie.
Yeah, actually, I did.
Anyway, Johnny Layton is off to play Space Engineers. Maybe he'll catch you guys there on Late's Dog. So I guess that's a goodbye. Say goodbye, Sal.
Bye.
I assume Blazing Saddles is another movie.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. Where's my gas pump? Over
You know
here.
what movie I'd like to literally recommend to...
No! Oh, I don't believe I did that. I've put a liquid pipe inside my...
that's brilliant.
Damn it!
Time to install an airlock, I suppose.
No, we never need to go back in there.
Well, you need to repair it.
It'll never need repairing, or it shouldn't.
I mean, you need to replace it.
I need to replace it now. Sure.
Fine. A movie I was going to recommend is, generally speaking, any movie made by Michael Bulli-Herbig. He's unfortunately a German comedian who solely makes German comedy movies, but his work is so absolutely hilarious. I really enjoy it, and I really wish I could show an English version to more people.
Oh, what's that one? The Star Trek...
Traumschiff Surprise.
Traumschiff. Oh, it's so funny.
It is. She's seen snippets out of it.
Yeah.
As part of German lessons, but, you know, we can't really show that because it contains a copyrighted movie.
Okay, gas pipe. I've even put a liquid pump in there. What was I thinking?
But also can relate, he liked the original X-Men trilogy, but he hasn't watched any of the following ones, not even Logan. Vlad is recommending The Admiral, a Soviet movie from 2008, and another one that he thinks is good too is 1612, I think. Giles Price agrees, Monuments Men is an awesome film. But also surprised that I, out of all people, would like Traumschiff Surprise.
Oh, it is so funny.
It has its moments, really. I mean, I'm hanging out with Boris and
Yeah.
Minty and Anubis. I'd like to almost argue that we're basically a Michael Bulli-Herbig film. As a group, in humans. Terry Love would like to know if you've seen the YouTuber Titanium Gaming Media playing Terra Firmacraft. It seems it is
No, I
possible
haven't.
to single player it. Well, of course
Yeah.
it is possible, but it's gonna take you ages to do anything. Plus, you'd need to have a nick for smithing, which
Yeah.
only one of us has. Giles Price says that the funniest German comedian is Hennig Wynn. And Stalingrad, no subtitles, is pretty good. Okay. No, hold on. What? I'm pretty sure I misread that. Potato points out that Sal's sanity is reaching a point where she's starting to make errors.
Oh, I always derp when I'm streaming. Oh. Hang on. Who's this? Jade Dog, you're stuck somewhere. Where are you stuck? Up there.
Potato points out that soon you'll be asking Mir to make art and Potato to edit videos.
How did you even get there?
That's a good question. Probably walked and then fell.
I'm not entirely sure.
But also liked my analogy. And Charles Price recommends Cross of Iron as another good movie. A movie that was really weird for me was Triangle, because it is, in its nature, a horror movie, something
There
I'm
we go.
not really good with at all, and even worse, a very bloody one at that. I'm no fan at all of slasher movies. That just make me feel queasy, and I don't enjoy feeling queasy while watching this. Oh yeah, of course, the Shoe of Manitou is better than Traumschiff Surprise. But I like the graphical effects of Traumschiff Surprise.
Oh, Potato's stuck somewhere.
Oh, is he... Oh, he's not dead. I thought he was dead. Back to my triangle thing, if you don't mind. Are you busy? Should I leave you some room?
Carry on, Mia.
You didn't seem to talk a lot, so I thought I'm monologuing a bit about movies. Triangle, scary movie, slasher, something I don't enjoy, but I really, really loved that weird story it had. The problem is I can't tell you anything about it because it'll spoil the movie for you, even if I just mentioned some minor elusive plot details, really. It was a scary movie, and I don't enjoy watching these, but torturing myself through that one was worth it because the story was brilliant. I assume nobody here has seen the movie Triangle. I think it came out in 2009. Now's the time for you to speak up and say, no, Mia, you're crazy, nobody would watch that. Potato points out that sleeping in the cold is a classic Canadian for him. And Chance Price is asking for a squashed potato.
I think a film that had a reasonable effect on me, one that I liked and I didn't think I would, but really liked, was Dead Poets Society. I'm really into Robin Williams, so I hadn't paid it. You know, I'd heard it was one of the films everyone thought was a good Robin Williams film, and I was like, yeah. But once I watched it, I can't remember why, and I actually really, really liked it. That one, the other Robin Williams film that I liked was the one about Vietnam. I can't remember what it was called. Good Morning Vietnam, maybe?
Chance Price points out that you shouldn't watch Italian-made war films, that their sequences are quite corny, and he himself couldn't stop laughing in them, which seems a bit morbid. But also would like to know if I've ever watched any movie with Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, or lose the fumes. Well, Bud Spencer and Terence Hill definitely ring a bell. Again, I've never sat down and deliberately watched any of these movies, because going from the titles alone, they didn't seem like something that would faze me. I recognize them as classics, and, I appreciate the value the actors gave to these movies. But again, watching two dudes punch a few people wasn't really what I considered time well spent for me. I judged the entire movie by its title, which I probably shouldn't have done.
Okay, now we need to rig up a lot of stuff on a temporary circuit. All the pumps and things need to be temporarily powered until we bring power into the base. We're going to have the main power running, the main conduit running up and down this ladder.
Though I'm going to interrupt you here to point out that Charles Price thinks the Bourne franchise is pretty epic, except for the non-Matt Damon one. Also, there's Good Will Hunting. Tammy Patton points out, "Oh Captain, my Captain."
Yeah.
Good Morning Vietnam. And
Right,
Bunny Bear disagrees. Only the first Bourne movie was good. To each their own. Vladdy's asking about Full Metal Jacket. Again, only a movie I've seen snippets of, but I recognise it as a classic, I suppose. Chance Price mentions the Back to the Future trilogy.
You see, my problem with the Back to the Future trilogy was that it's so... the science in it is so bad.
It sure is, but I'm a sucker for time travel stories.
Well, yeah, but...
Which might have been a hint towards an earlier movie I discussed, but alright.
Oh, Mia, you cannot help it with the spoilers, can you?
Of course I can't.
You're saying, I won't even tell you a thing. I can't even mention a thing, because if I tell you a thing, then...
I know.
Then I'll spoil it.
I just did. Maybe they were all too confused or weren't planning on watching it anyway. Plus, nobody answered my question if they've seen it. Terry Love points out that Bud and Terry, My Name is Nobody is a spoof western. Yeah, that sounds about right. Again, not really my cup of tea.
What was that film? Oh, I mean, I'm not that much of a fan of westerns, but Blazing Saddles, which is a spoof western.
Spoof westerns.
Fantastic.
To bring back an earlier point, remember Tramsh's Surprise? Another movie by the same director is The Shoe of Manitou, which is basically a spoof western along the same lines of Tramsh's Surprise, only that it came before. What's even funnier is that they reference the entirety of that movie in the Tramsh's Surprise movie, which I assume is a spoiler, but since it's basically just a big stand-up comedy gig, I don't think spoilers count that much. You're in for the jokes, not for the story, I'd argue. I'm not entirely sure what the abbreviation FMJ stands for, but apparently it's an awesome film. Also, Galaxy Quest is an epic film. Okay, haven't seen that one either. Really behind on my movies.
Idle. Why have we got people idle? There's digging to be done.
I don't know.
Jim Hon and Radio. Oh, that's why. Okay, pair of you. Oh, still idle because you can't get out of there.
That sounds ridiculous. One of Potato's favourite movies is the 2011 The Adventures of Tintin, and the funny thing is that until halfway through the movie he thought it was a live action thing. How do you... the drawing can't look that good.
I want to get them to cut that. Speed them up quite significantly.
Oh, Tim und Struppi, which is the German version. He's just called Tim, and the dog is referenced in the title. Yeah, I can see why you thought this was a live action movie. That one blew my mind too at first. Ugh. Jim Hon is referencing Apocalypse Now. Not something I've seen or heard of. Taka's asking about The Last Unicorn. I watched it as a kid, and I remember it as a really nice movie, but I couldn't recall any details of it now. Charles Price is upset that nobody mentioned Tremors. And FMJ was Full Metal Jacket. Thanks, Taka. And Galaxy Quest had, come on, I knew his name. The actor that played Professor Snape in the Harry Potter movies. May he rest in pieces. Alan... Come on, I know this one. Point in case being is, he also played a role in Galaxy Quest, according to Taka. Alan Rickman, there you go, thank you.
Okay.
Shaun of the Dead.
What about Shaun of the Dead?
Well, your opinion. Please tell me you've seen it.
Yes, alright.
Okay, it was just alright, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it was okay, but I don't know, maybe it was just it was so hyped that I didn't find it as good as what I was expecting.
I was completely disassociated with the hype. I probably saw it a few years later. But I found it funny because the market was oversaturated with those stupid zombie movies that were really gritty, and I appreciated the idea of taking a spoof spin on it.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was just sort of...
Potato's #1 movie that he personally absolutely loves would have to be Jurassic Park. He's just bringing this up to spite Sal.
Yeah.
And again, thanks chat for reminding me that the actor's name was Alan Rickman. That really helped. Giles Price brings up Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I've heard a reference, and I'm pretty sure I've seen the German version, at least snippets of it, but I wouldn't know what it is in German or anything about it. An Imperial Family is pretty good, according to Vladdy. And Jim Hahn agrees Shaun of the Dead was only an okay movie. And Burl also points out that the TV show Continuum had a time travel element to it, and he definitely recommends it. I think I remember that name, but don't hold me to it. I shall Google it and save that for later, but I'm pretty sure I had seen it already. Tammy Patton says that Roxanne, starring Steve Martin, is a great movie.
That sounds familiar, and although I don't usually like slapstick stuff, there's a lot of Steve Martin stuff that I like.
You don't like slapstick? You're really happy with Trump of Surprise.
Oh, I know, but... Well, that wasn't slapstick, that was a different type of spoof comedy.
How would you call that type of spoof, then?
I don't know.
Assumed slapstick was just generally crude humour.
No, slapstick usually involves physical humour. I mean, a slapstick is actually a thing, and it was like turn of the 19th, 20th century. The 20th century humour. A slapstick was a stick that you could gently hit someone with, and it'd make a slapping noise, so it would look like you were hitting people. And it was the kind of Charlie Chaplin type stuff where it was just about this sort of pretending to hit each other, and what was it called? The Stan and Ollie, the two. Can't remember their name. Stan and Ollie, very famous black and white comedians. Another fine mess you got me into. Yeah, Three Stooges is slapstick.
But that...
Laurel and Hardy, that was it, yeah. Oh god, I hated them. I just didn't find them funny. Still don't, but at least now I just largely avoid them.
That still leaves me with the question what you'd call this type of humour, and I was thinking of slapstick.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a specific name for it.
There ought to be.
Mia likes a specific name for everything. Don't you, Mia?
I do.
He does.
Well, but we should bring the stream to an end soon, even though we're all on a movie roll at the moment, it seems.
Yeah. And I am so nearly ready to switch on the power.
Lovely. The movie Potato hates the most is the Scott Pilgrim movie, because they took an amazing graphic novel series and then butchered it and compressed a 2-year story to a week. Okay. Terry Love would like to know if anyone remembers the British short film The Plank by Eric Sykes.
Doesn't ring a bell. Right.
Here's one. Charles Price suggests The Sport. 3 hours of sweaty German submarines in a sub. Submariners, not sweaty submarines. That would be weird.
Probably got too much on this circuit. Let's have a look. What do you require? I need to be
anyway, I shall cut it short here now and force you to slowly end the stream. How much longer do you need?
120, 240. 480.
Well, in the meantime, let me catch up on things I missed earlier. Vladdy pretty much loves anything from Stephen King. Are you sure I heard... oh, hold on, that's the wrong one. Never mind me.
But we might do it, because not everything will be running at once. Especially if we switch off one of these. Turn one of them off. Now this is going to drip polluted water out of there. Oh, morbs! We've got loads of morbs down here. Fantastic. We want to make a route for the polluted water to come over here somewhere, so I think we'll dig.
Potato would like to know if this is the last stream of the night.
Yeah, it will be, I'm afraid. Best dig that snow so it doesn't fall on someone's head.
Well...
and actually I want to turn that one off for the moment as well, because we don't want it working until there's carbon dioxide in there. But yeah, we're ready to just start priming the system now.
wonderful, although we should probably save priming it for next time.
Well, we're ready to go. I think we should just, like, you know, just a few more minutes, and we'll all be done.
Fine, but I'm not going to start any more movie discussions because I'm worried that this will elapse into another 10-minute segment.
Okay, well, let me do the talking then.
Fine.
Right, so that Atmos switch is inactive because we've said only activate if it's below. So as soon as I switch that to above, that's going to start pumping. It will pump gas to these power generators. The power generators will emit carbon dioxide, which is going to go into this room. And I'm just going to let it, because what I want it to do is to like pump out some of this polluted oxygen. And then, and it won't actually do that much because the pressure's very high out here. We're going to have to find a way to reduce the pressure.
Potato points out that when you said a few more minutes, you meant 1 hour.
But that'll work, and then this will start producing power, which we haven't got a battery for yet. So let's get that going. So I don't want to waste the power. Best make that out of gold. So I'm going to have batteries on both sides of our power system. Do you know if I dig one down, they won't jump down there? There we go.
But also says 5 more minutes, Mom.
Right, I'm going to let them dig this before I actually switch on, so that's not going to take very long. Was there any more Weezewort seeds amongst that lot? No. What have we got down here besides mobs? We have what seems to be a sealed chamber, which is good.
Jim Hon urges me to run away now. Before it's too late. Well, it's already too late.
They've just got a couple more blocks of abyssalite to dig through,
And have a nap first too.
Then this dig will be very quick. It's just the abyssalite that's a bit slow. And then we'll switch on the pump.
Potato points out, or is under the false impression, that if you talk about movies during a stream, it leads to a longer stream, which is false. To get a longer stream, you need to take Sal out of the equation. Let her just focus on the game entirely until she enters sweaty tryhard mode, where she just can't stop.
Oh, but we've spent the last, all of today, all of the bits of streaming that we've been doing today, the whole of this session, has been about building this power thing. And it's still small scale. We need to increase this significantly, but this should work. I mean, we need to put power transformer on and link that up to all the other things and stuff, but that can wait.
Terry Love would like to know how far you can go before you reach the other side of the asteroid. Well, if you're interested in that, I think in the first series, Sal explored the entirety of the asteroid.
Yeah, I got to the top and the bottom, didn't I, on both sides. So here's, when you see this neutronium, that means you're at the surface of the asteroid and you can't dig through that. Other side... Oh yeah, it's over here somewhere. So it's quite narrow, but it's quite tall. Look at all this natural gas in here. Well, we shall start freeing some of that up soon enough. We'll let the gas out of there and into a chamber where we're going to process all of the gases. Okay, how are you doing? Right, we've built that. Let's switch it on and see if it works. I'm going to put it into the gas pipe overview, I think.
Also, but also streams new friends.
Yeah, we shall...
Save that for next time.
Yeah. Let's get right above. And we're pumping. Let's watch the gas. Okay, so the gas has got to travel down to here. We'll know if it's working if we see carbon dioxide coming out.
Potato would like to know how long he still has to endure living in an environment with polluted oxygen.
That's gonna be a while, although we will be able to start producing some nice oxygen, some clean oxygen, so that it won't be quite as... we'll be mixing it up with some nice oxygen as well.
So basically, she's just going to water down your nasty
first
oxygen.
of all, we'll be watering down the polluted stuff with some nice stuff. But we will get to cleaning up the polluted oxygen. Alright, here we go. Oh, there we go. So they're working. And we're now producing power there. Do you know what? I'm actually going to change this pipe because this middle gas generator doesn't have a long enough pipe to just connect straight to there. It needs a longer pipe, so we will probably connect it out there. I'm not going to worry about doing that now, but I'll put it in so I don't forget. I'm just putting it in so I don't forget, that's all. There we go. Oh, let's make sure it's going up. Yep, there we go. And carbon dioxide is coming out here. And this is cooling the carbon dioxide, which will help to keep this chamber cool. Because the air scrubbers overheating is the biggest problem. Now, the air scrubbers, we haven't linked up to the water supply yet, I don't think. No, so they are going to output dirty water and they need clean water as an input, and the clean water is coming from here, so we shall...
Shouldn't we cool that water up there down too, so those things don't overheat as well?
That's not so much of a problem actually, because the water isn't with them long enough for the temperature to heat the machinery. I know that's not how it works in real life, but in this, the temperature of the water going in doesn't seem to affect it as much as the air temperature around it.
Fair point.
But now that that is all working and this is generating power, so we've now got a power source. I think we'll leave the stream there. I'll just tell you what we'll do next time.
Well, we'll not stream Oxygen Not Included forever, as Jim Horn suggested. Cherry Love will appreciate some clean oxygen at some point soon. And Bill also points out that at least he'll get a finished game one day.
One day.
Unlike other ones he could mention.
This game doesn't have an end to it. It's sandbox at the moment. So it just comes to the point where we say the milestone for this series will be X, and once we've reached that milestone, then we'll call the series to an end. But because it's in early access and it's being updated quite regularly, what's likely to happen is that a game-breaking update will come out, and when that happens, we'll start a new series. But Bounty Train has got a definite end to it. Urban Empire's got a definite end to it, and we will get around to it.
The problem is Bounty Train's end is a lot farther away than Sal is assuming.
No, well, I told you that.
I tried.
I told you I knew that it went on further than the previous stream that I'd been watching. I just didn't know how far. But anyway, that's fine. I like Bounty Train. I've played Bounty Train for ages.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, we'll be playing Bounty Train too. Right, but that's where we'll leave it. So next time we shall be focusing on getting the carbon dioxide processing room up and running and ready for once we've got a full room of carbon dioxide. And we'll be looking to make a better reservoir for all of the polluted water, because this is just going to spit polluted water out of here. Some of it's going to go down into here, some of it's going to come down into here. And we'll be looking at increasing our natural gas supply, which we'll do through making fertilizers, through fertilizer makers and making fertilizer.
To have it summarized, Material Love, eventually the asteroid will collide with another asteroid and everyone dies.
Yeah.
Now we're 15 minutes over, more even. So let's end it here. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
You for watching.
We'll see you on Wednesday for Prey, presuming that we're not getting technical difficulties again. If we are having technical difficulties with Prey, we'll definitely stream something else. So that's 8 PM GMT +1, which is London time, on Wednesday. Same time Thursday for Skyrim. See you soon.
They all know that you didn't need to repeat this.
Bye, everybody.